Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, here to answer the burning question, is it too late to sow poppy seeds? And the answer is no. We are in the beginning of February, you have a couple more weeks. I'm gonna go ahead and say the cutoff date is the last day of February. The reason for that is poppies need cool soil in order to establish properly. And well, here in the southeast, zones 6 through 9, we can actually get quite warm. In fact, we're going into the 70s today, and that will influence the establishment of your poppies. Poppies really aren't super heat tolerant, so this is why they are a winter sown plant. A couple other basic things that I get a lot of questions about. Your best bet is to sow in full sun, layer a couple of inches of compost down, and then when you sow the seeds, keep them on the surface. Don't rake the bed, don't mulch the bed, don't walk into the bed once you've sown the poppies. And yes, you do need to water. In past years, here in central North Carolina, we were much wetter than we are this year. And really the thing that I'm discovering in my beds, I've been not watering as often as necessary, and some of the seeds aren't germinating as quickly or getting established. So pull your hoses out and plan to water your beds with frequency, because you have to remember when the seeds germinate, they only have roots that are like a half an inch deep, and that half-inch surface soil needs to stay moist to be able to allow those poppy seeds to dig their roots in deep and really get established. So let's cover it again. You've got till the end of February to get your seed sown. Prep your beds by putting down a nice layer of compost so that it's good seed to soil contact. Sow your seeds right on the surface, don't cover them with anything, and then keep your beds watered. This is going to be your absolute path to success, because I want all of you to have beautiful poppy beds just like me. All right, now I'm going to show you again the process. I'm coming to the end of my poppy sowing season. I only have like 2 more beds to do, and then I will be complete, which is perfect because I start traveling next week. This is a great approach for covering up the ground, ideally preventing weed seeds from establishing so that you won't actually have to do any work once you get these seeds sown. Another question that people always ask is about thinning. And no, I do not thin my poppy seeds. I have learned from experience that when you thin them, as soon as we get a heavy rain, all of the plants will end up falling on top of each other. They need their neighbors to be able to keep their structural integrity. So sow the seeds, follow my bowling method so that the seeds fan out and you get good ground plane coverage. But then don't go through and thin the seedlings, because honestly that's extra work for no reason, and you'll often find that the plants will end up flopping over on each other because they need their neighbors, okay? I'm trying to share advice on the absolute easiest, least expensive ways to garden. Tossing seeds down, walking away, and let them fight it out to figure out which plant is gonna take up the space is always gonna be the best approach. Okay, I'm gonna finish getting this bed filled up with fresh compost, and then I'm gonna once again show you the proper poppy seeding method. All right, everybody, it's time to sow the seeds. And specifically, I am gonna focus on California poppies in this bed because they're loosely native. So you can see I've got the entire expansion of the bed filled with veggie mix from Soil Cube. And now the seeding process is very simple. I'm gonna take a handful of seed, just like that. And I'm gonna stand along the edge, and I'm gonna bowl these seeds in, just like that. That way they have good scattering for ground plane coverage, and I won't need to thin. This is a really important part of it, because remember, your poppies actually need their neighbors in order to stand tall and upright. You don't want them to lodge and collapse during the first spring thunderstorm. So no thinning needed. Okay, I'm gonna walk this border and get all of this beautiful fresh compost covered in seed. That way this bed will look magical for the Fuquay Varina Garden Tour on May 17th and 18th. All right, now that I've got all that seed sown, I need to go ahead and grab a bottle, mark down everything so that I will be able to remember what I actually did here. And I can't wait to share updates with all of you. I do hope this video will serve as inspiration. Remember, you still have a few more weeks to get your poppies sown, saying the end of February is really the ideal cutoff. Be sure to prep your beds with quality compost, surface sow your poppies, and then keep your beds wet. You can't rely on Mother Nature to provide enough moisture, so keep those hoses handy. Well, as always, thanks so much for watching, and happy gardening, everybody.